Hello, I'm Robert, and you're welcome here in my busy little shop. On today's episode, what's on my workbench? We got some contact adhesive here. I thought I would take just a moment and talk about that. I see a lot of conversation about contact adhesive, and I realize that this solvent-based one may not be available everywhere. People are located, but this is what I use. I started with this, and I've not really used anything but that. So can I say it's better than anybody else's? No, I wouldn't go that far. But I would say it works for what I do. It's readily available, and I use about 2 gallons a year of contact adhesive. So, and I buy it in the gallons. When I first started, I bought it's either an 8-ounce or a 16-ounce can with a little brush in it, and that's what I used. I used that till it was empty, and then I actually bought a couple of quarts, would refill that until one day the brush broke on me, and I'm like, all right, I need to graduate to something a little bit different. So I went and I ordered this bottle here, and I use it today, but I use it very sparingly. But I ordered this one here, and I used it for a little while, and it was kind of a pain. You have to move the brush up and down. I guess you could leave it all the way to the bottom, but then when you're brushing, it would want to drip off of the stem of it there. And then you get adhesive on the shaft here, and it doesn't want to loosen and move up and down through there. So then I purchased, not this glue pot, I purchased a different one. I bought the TS Boy. Now someone's going to say that is a TS Boy. Looks like it, but it's not. I purchased a TS Boy pot, and I bought it and I used it for just a few months, and I left it, and I had it tipped up like this, and when I came back it was split over here. So, and it had been probably a month or two sitting like that when I came back, and it was cracked. So I thought, well, I've done something wrong in the way I stored it. So I reached out at Springfield, and I bought one like this. Once again, it was a TS Boy. That one there, I had it in use for probably, it wasn't even 2 months. And I had just filled it up and set it over here on the counter, went in and did something. I come out, and there was contact adhesive there. And the seam here, there's like this electronically welded seam here. This seam, it was leaking. And so I had one of these. I've actually got 2 of these. When I bought this one, I bought 2. I've never used the second one. So I transferred it into here, poured some of it back in the gallon container I had going at the time, and was pretty frustrated. It took quite a bit of time to clean it up. So I reached out to Springfield Leather, which is where I purchased the TS Boy from, and they told me that, yeah, we had sold those. We had some issues with that. We've got a different brand now than the TS Boy. Looks like the TS Boy. I wish it had a brand name on it. It just says glue container made in Italy, and I'm pretty sure the TS Boy is made in Germany. So anyway, I've had this one here now for 1.5 years. The brush I'm using in it is actually, I was surprised, my first video that I produced on the channel, I was using this brush. So this brush I've had for over 2 years, and to me it stays fresh in there. Once in a while I'll put a lot of adhesive on the brush, and I'll scrape it off all the way up here to the ferrule, and it's ferrule actually, and I'll get it cleaned off that way. The strong solvent in here I think helps that last longer. And I use both of these. This one holds almost 1 liter. This is a 32 ounce. And what I'll do is I will stir this up, and I will transfer it to these containers. Sorry about the break there. FedEx truck was going by, it's kind of loud. But what I was saying is I use both of these containers, and what I do is I try to only open this. I open this container like 4 times when I use the whole thing. Part of the reason why is if you take that lid off, you're losing solvents, and that will eventually dry the glue out. So if I limit how often I open this, then that helps to limit the loss of the solvents. It's kind of the same principle with this. This lid fits tight. I've had people say that theirs dries out, And I've gone off and left this for 6 weeks at a time when I'm off doing something else and come back and it's still fresh. Now, when I start and you get all the way to the end of it, is it as fresh as it was? No. But I use it up quick enough to where it doesn't go bad on me. So I do get people ask me what solvents I use to thin it when it thickens up, and I don't. I'm able to use it through the whole thing, so I've never had to add any thinner to that. The other thing is I've seen people just say they just poke a hole and pour from there. Well, there's solids in this, stuff that was added during the manufacturing process that should be stirred into the glue. So I've got this much, I've got a half a gallon in here, so I'm gonna stir it up here, and I'll scrape the bottom a little bit here, and you'll see there's stuff there that needs to get stirred in. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll stir this up, and I'll come back when I'm ready to pour it into the container, and we'll go from there. Just give me just a couple minutes. All right, so I've stirred this for several minutes now, and it is, I think, well stirred in. Whenever I have a full container, if you look, there's not glue in the rim here. And if you go to pour it out of there, it's really going to get gunked up. So you've probably seen before where I will take the stir stick and I will, I'll go like this and scrape it off into there. When I do that, I'm able to do it and not get the can all messy. Maybe I'm a neat freak when it comes to that, but I worked in the paint industry, and a lot of times if you want to get a little sample, you just stir stick in there, you'd run like that, and you'd end up with a sample. And I can do this in probably less than a minute and fill up the quart container. It's down low enough now. I'm going to go ahead and pour out of here. There's probably more than what will fit in these two containers, but it's not going to be by very much. So let's we'll take a look at it and see here. And the way that the my glue pot works is that if it's sitting like this, then you pour the glue into this lip here and it runs into the container. So we're going to do that. See if I can do this without making a mess since everybody's watching. Oh, a little bit of a mess there. I've also filled the quart container and then used that to pour into here. You know, a little bit easier to work with for, at least for myself. I know a lot of conversation about adhesive, but it's some of the things that people ask me about. So I thought I would take just a moment and fill everybody in on this. And I'm going to take it all the way here, pretty much full. We'll see if I'll have enough room here to empty this. It will be close. The other thing about this glue pot is it's solvent resistant, and when the adhesive dries out, you can clean it off of there. I'm sure eventually it'll get scratched up enough where I won't want to clean off very well, but that works that way. All right, let's see. I don't know if it's going to fit in there or not. Time will tell. I'm thinking not. Dang, it's going to be close. Yeah, there's probably about 8 ounces left in there. So what I'll do is I will seal this back up, and instead of using this quart container to fill up the pot here when I need it the next time, I'll pour it out of here when I get this thing about half empty or half full, depending on which side of the equation you believe in. I'm going to wipe that off there. I cut denim into little squares that I use for various things, from applying stain to cleaning up small messes here. Just like that. And that's enough to last me for probably, this is probably a month's worth of work here. So I'll get into this the middle of next month here, middle of January, and we'll have that one used up, and off we go. I guess that's about it. I would appreciate some feedback. Someone that's used Weldwood and then they've switched to something else. Tell me in the comments the reason why you made a switch from the Weldwood to the other. And if it's water-based, that's fine. You know, obviously, you know, having good ventilation is important here. I've got an open window here, whole garage door open over there. So, and I've got a fan running down here to circulate the air. So I've got lots of good ventilation when I'm using the contact adhesive. And if you're in a small confined space, then this probably wouldn't be a good option for you. Appreciate you taking time to be with me in the shop today. Please like, share, and subscribe. But more importantly, I do hope you have a great day.